Welcome to Adult Brain. This sample is from a recently published book by Dominic Vallée called Zinfaendel, The Mystic's Path of Self-Knowledge. This is a fabulous book I've had the pleasure to narrate. He'll be on the Grimerica show soon, probably in a month or two, and he's been on Aeon Byte. That'll be released any day now. The date of this recording is July 23rd, 2023. I'll just read a little bit of the description and the index, and then the excerpt will come later. It is sometimes said that at the heart of all spiritual traditions we find essentially the same values of love, virtue, and altruism. However, one notion consistently resurfaces even more prominently in the discourse of the greatest mystics throughout history: self-knowledge. Far beyond a mere psychological endeavor, the path of personal revelation remains enigmatic. Aside from our physical forms, our tragedies, ecstasies, and opinions, what else is there to know? Do we simultaneously inhabit multiple worlds? And if so, how do we inquire into our subtlest aspects? Does this bewildering quest inexorably lead us to redefine our own concept of reality? Facing the turbulence of our era, many of us are plagued by a growing sense of confusion. However, this feeling serves as an ideal starting point for the pursuit of self-knowledge, as it facilitates the emergence of the mystic's inquisitive spirit. By exploring oneself through the filters of philosophy, meditation, art, psychology, and divination, the introspective adept exposes themselves to their profound nature. It is through this journey that Zinfaendel, along with Dominic Vallée, invites you to the exciting discovery of your true bearings, roots, and identity. The table of contents. Part 1, Zinfaendel Revealed. 1. Introduction. 2. Behind the Door, a mirror synthesis. The Mystic's Radical Autonomy. Faith. 3. Same but Different. 4. Of Punks and Mystics. Part 2. Nosce te ipsum. 5. Know Thyself. 6. The Meaning of Self-Knowledge. 7. Why would it be significant? Navigating the chaos of a changing world, unwavering in the face of the information tsunami, a crisis of deep and heartfelt meaning. Conclusion. 8. Is self-knowledge selfish? 9. How would one proceed? A few avenues of exploration: introspection, meditation, the horse-drawn carriage analogy, astrology, psychology, friendship or the Sangha, the daemon, sports and martial arts, stories, parables and metaphors, traditions and religions, the study of dreams, the divinatory arts, philosophy. Conclusion. 10. Why is it so difficult? 1. Taming Chronos. 2. The Eye of the Hurricane. 3. No instructions. 4. Between believing and knowing. 5. The accursed act of letting go. In conclusion. 42. 11. The nature of our discoveries. Part 3. A few words from the earth. 12. Life is not a dream. 13. La danza de realidad. Illusion my ass. Oh, it hurts so good. In summary. Conclusion. 14. Meditation. The mind alive. The tentacles of meditation. Classifying the unclassifiable. Body meditations. Emotional meditations. Meditations of the intellect. Imaginal meditations. Meditations of transcendence. A note about traditional systems. I meditate, therefore I am. Meditatis, ergo sum. 15. Arts, resonance, and metaphors. With a capital A. The screaming into the guitar. Dark Side of the Moon. Transmitters, Awakeners. Tea with Alice. In Wonderland. Conclusion. 16. Destiny, divination, and manifestation. Magic and law of attraction. Energetic pinata. Astrology. Archetypal weather divination. Astrology 101. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Conclusion. Divination. Heart and brain. Psychological divination. Star Wars. Gods and dogs. The divination of archetypal currents. Assisted divination. Mirror, mirror, tell me. Finding your metaphorical voice. Conclusion. Synchronicities and dream space. Dominic and the ghost of St. Chronos. Tabula rasa. To hell with the angels. The language of the unrevealed. Through the Vesica. Conclusion. 17. The way of the voice. Verify you are human. Will, are you free? Syzygy, to play. Maples and ferns, the sage who points at the moon, a ghost with 1,001 masks, a sacred state of doubt. Vroom vroom. Rose, rose, talk to me. Conclusion. My equals thy. Beauty. Part 4. Primitivo. 18. Life is but a dream. Enjoy this little excerpt. You can find all our books at addlebrain.ca and check out our Instagram and like and subscribe. Or you can go directly to Audible. Chapter 4. Of Punks and Mystics. In writing Zinfaendel, I have taken great care to stay as far away as possible from specific ideologies. The vision offered in this book precedes political leanings, religious and cultural traditions, and all forms of activism. According to this vision, the adept seeks above all to place the focal point of his consciousness where thoughts, concepts, beliefs, and opinions have not yet taken form. However, I could not completely detach myself from one philosophy in particular, that of the DIY spirit. In order to adopt this vision and to strip it as much as he possibly could from the vehicle of the ego, one can only rely on oneself. Autodidact by nature, I was called towards this approach very early in life, both for my education and for my personal and professional undertakings. I was first inspired by the punk and grunge movements, more precisely by the related notion that approval of any form of authority should not affect personal expression and achievement. Learn by doing, evolve through experience and self-criticism, making expression, curiosity, and a sense of wonder the main elements motivating one's actions. It was out of sheer necessity that adopted this attitude towards life. Considered marginal or perhaps marginalized, even as a child, I quickly formed the belief that no system could contribute to my fulfillment, or even to my survival. Over the years and experiences, I've learned to appreciate the freedom that this way of apprehending creative and generative actions, of expressing myself in this world, allows me. However, only in the last few years I've realized that this independence of thinking, acting, and actualizing not only was part of a deeply spiritual approach, but that it represents the main pillar of the mystical way. This, moreover, is what connects the wisest mystics of different traditions to each other. Before his form comes the light of the individual, and those who are enlightened by it recognize each other, even in silence. I truly wanted to produce a truly universal text, but despite my great efforts to make it easily accessible, I must admit that there is an important limit to the effectiveness of its message. Of course, nothing and no one can guarantee gnosis or enlightenment, but even to receive Zinfaendel's basic purpose, the ability to take charge of one's own spirituality, is essential. Moreover, without this quality which distinguishes the mystic from the fanatic and the profane, it would have been impossible for me to write this book so that the message reaches the thoughts and hearts of anyone who lacks a certain autonomy. If firmly convinced that no enlightenment is possible without the intervention of a spiritual guide, or categorical that no path is valid that isn't based on some 1,000-year-old tradition, the reader would receive of this book nothing more than a nauseating wind in the face. The words of this text are powerful catalysts, but without the substance of uniqueness and independence, their potential cannot be reactivated. So let's lay our cards on the table right away. Are you just looking to nod your head in confirmation or to reinforce what you already believe in? Please put Zinfaendel back where you took it. Hoping for clear answers, rules to follow, a recipe for freedom? Zinfaendel will disappoint you. On the other hand, if you are ready to bravely expose the workings of your egoic vehicle, Zinfaendel will assist you. If you are determined to dissolve the concepts of good and evil in order to reclaim them, to reinvent them, Zinfaendel will accompany you. Together, let us become witnesses of the first blooms and of the divine winds. Let's give ourselves an opportunity to take a look at timelessness. Together, let's lend an ear to nature's perfect distortions. Let us meet on the summit of yourself.